Hey, 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 I am back. Debbie Stroud is online and I am adding my friend Gideon. I just sent him an invite. So, hey Leslie, Edwin, here we go again. Let's try to make this thing happen. I've sent Gideon a invite, so let's see if this thing happens this time. We're going to make this work. We are going to make it work. Dream work makes the dream work, right? Most definitely. Come on, hop on here, Gideon. Pamela, thanks for coming back. Edwin, hey, 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 how you doing on that Taj Mahal painting? I've been keeping up with it, and I'm so excited to see all of the progress that you're making. My friend Edwin is an oil painter. Much respect, much respect. Hey, Ashley. Hey, Insco Grady. It's good to see you, girl. I miss y'all. I'm waving at everybody. Well, let's see. Gideon's not here yet. He says he's waiting for the invite, but I just sent it. So let me see. Okay. Gideon, I just sent you the invite. You can also request, I think you can request to be added. Yeah, you can either accept the invite or the request to be added. So let's see how this works. So my friend Gideon is from South Africa, and he is a creatively fit coach like me. We've both mentored under the same lady, Whitney Freya, and the beautiful thing about this is that you can, all of us, there are a ton of us who have done this whole thing about intuitive painting and done the whole thing about really getting into the intuition and making art a part of our daily sacred practice. It's not just a thing, it's a way of life, kind of like the artist's life. This is like a sacred deal that we make as a part of our life. And the beautiful thing about it is that, okay, here he comes. Let's see if he can be straight up this time. We had problems. Yay! You're straight up, Gideon. Woo! We got
Finally,
this
can you
thing
guys hear
right.
me?
Hey, Bridget, good to see you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Debbie. Third time is a charm.
Yes, it is. I'm so excited. So let's get right to it. You ready?
Okay, let's do this.
Okay. So, guys, we're so glad that you have joined us on this Facebook Live. Let me tell you what, this is going to be a high vibe time. Gideon and I have been friends. Gideon and I have been friends for a while, and like I was saying, we both mentored under Whitney Freya. We are both into intuitive art, intuitive painting, and we both made art a part of our daily sacred practice. And part of
Yeah.
what we want to tell you guys about today is that and how it's really affected our lives, and how it continues to fulfill us and nourish us, especially so without further ado, I want to talk to Gideon. And
Mhm.
this is my friend Gideon, everybody. This is actually the first
Hi.
time, although we've known each other for a while, this is the first time that we've really even talked in person. We've talked back
Yes.
and forth, like on messages, right? And Gideon
Uh-huh.
is 6 hours ahead. So in South Africa, it's what, 7 p.m. there, Gideon?
Yeah, just after 7 now.
Right?
So it's
So
dark
tell
outside.
us a little bit. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's winter and it's dark outside. I'm ready to go.
It's winter there.
Yeah, it's just getting a chill now.
Wow. So because it's just beginning summer here. So
Okay.
we are. We're on the opposite ends of the pole. So hey,
Yeah,
tell me
okay.
all about this amazing gallery showing that you have going on. It's online, right? So tell us all about it.
Absolutely. So it's always been a goal of mine to do an art exhibition at some stage of my artist career. But as when you have to go to a gallery or you have to rent space to do an exhibition, the costs start to tally up and it really becomes expensive. So unless you are sponsored by a gallery or something like that that really love your work, it is very hard to have a showing publicly, you know.
Right.
So I've been
Yeah.
working a lot during the lockdown on some of my artwork, and I just thought, you know what, there should be no reason for me not to go about this in a creative way. I've got this amazing social media platform. Why not have an online event on my page where I can showcase my work in a live like this? And then I can also post photographs, beautiful quality photographs of my work. So I've done all of that already. So I'm ready to roll this weekend. So it will happen on the 30th of May from 12 noon South African Standard Time. And it will run all the way till the 1st of June, also at 12 o'clock noon. So everybody will have about 3 days to visit this event and then to take their time to page and scroll through my artwork. And
Right.
during the weekends, I hope to do a live and, you know, just interact with my audience. So this is what I've been setting up and building up towards for this weekend. Yes.
That sounds so exciting. So let me ask you a question. Is it going to be like an auction? Is there a starting price, or do you have set prices that you're asking for your artwork?
I have a start-off price, artist request price, where we will start off from. And then, you know, patrons that visit this event will be able to bid in the comment section of the particular painting. So they will bid on top of my asking price. So I'm encouraging the people that do attend to check in regularly to see if somebody else also bid it on the painting. So by the time we close bids on the 1st of June, then the person with the highest bid on top of my asking price will obviously now be the winner.
That's awesome. Do you have, do you have anything right there that you can show us? Gideon has an amazing style. He's a watercolor painter, and I'm
Um,
telling you, I think I comment on everything you do because your florals are so just wow. The
oh, thank
color,
you.
light, everything is just so
I haven't brought anything up with me because I wanted to keep it a surprise, but I can ask
okay.
my hand to just bring me my poster picture of the art. You will run downstairs. My beautiful husband is helping me in the background.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
he's gonna go teach my poster artwork for this event so that I can show that to you guys as well. That's been the flower that I created to advertise the event with, and that you probably have seen in social media. Yeah,
Right, right. Yeah.
let me just
So
shout it out on the wooden table underneath the bed there. No problem. Let's carry on.
Pamela just left you a good comment. She said that your colors, your watercolors inspire her to dive deeply
Oh
into the
wow!
watercolor field. Yeah.
Thank you, Pamela. I appreciate that.
So one of the big differences between Gideon and I is that I have an art degree and Gideon is a self-taught artist. And I think that is so important because one of the things that we both tout is that to do this intuitive art process, what we both teach, you don't have to have any, did you hear that? You don't have to have any art experience at all. And in my experience in doing this whole thing, if you don't have any art experience, actually the process is really a lot easier than if you do. Look at that. Gorgeous. The depth, the
Thank you
color,
so much.
just beautiful. So if you're tuning in right now, this is some of the stuff that you can see and some of the artworks that you can buy. And really seriously, you know, at this time with the coronavirus and everything that's going on, people are asking local businesses, how can we support local? This is a way. If you want to get in on supporting someone who is a local artist, a local mom and pop deal, do it. This is how you can do it. How can you help us? Well, you can buy our artwork. That's how you can help us. Get in on one of our programs, and seriously download some of our free offerings. You know, there's always something that you can do. Always, always. Hey,
Absolutely.
Tina.
I agree with you. And, actually, I'm a hairstylist by trade. So that is my main stream of income. And being in lockdown now in South Africa, hairdressing has only been classified as a level 1. And we are currently about to enter level 3. So it seems that for the next 2 months, I'm still not able to work. So this is why I'm taking all the time that I do have on my hands now to invest in my art and in my coaching business and that kind of thing. So
Right.
I have to,
Well,
make do with this.
can you explain, because some of the people that are on here, I think, are from different countries. We've got Paul, he's from
Mhm.
Ireland, South Africa. So will you
Yeah.
explain what the levels are? Like the level 1, the level 2, the
Okay.
level 3, and help us understand.
Sure. So the national lockdown was initiated as a state of emergency, and that was what they call hard lockdown is level 5. So now that we flattened the curve and that kind of thing, we all sort of know this lingo. So what the government is now trying to do is to take us out of hard lockdown, but in a systematic way. So to try and kickstart the economy and that kind of thing, and get people back to work system by system, industry by industry, and level by level. So in most other foreign countries, hairdressing was sort of classified as a level 4 or level 3 during a lockdown ease up. But in South Africa, unfortunately, we were classified under level 1. So that's basically the level before lockdown is entirely lifted. So, and at this
Wow.
stage, the lockdown is being lifted 1 month at a time, one level at a time. So they're doing it very slowly and progressively. But I've already been in lockdown since the 27th of March. So this is week 10 already of no income, of zero income. So it is really difficult to sort of still try and keep, some morale going, and also to try and feel, still purposeful and doing something constructive with my time. So I've been
Right.
spending a lot of time in my art and also in my education. I'm studying further in life coaching, mindfulness practitioner, counseling, that kind of thing. So I'm really immersing myself in self-study and self-development and in my art, yes.
Very cool. It's so interesting how different countries do different things.
Absolutely.
So, like in the United States, things have started to open up, and there are so many things have started to open up. People can go get, and you can go get a pedicure, although they're only allowing so many people in at a time. It's
Yes,
just
yes.
it's so different how different countries do different things. So
I
hey,
think we are literally seeing our planet changing in front of our eyes.
so that is lead in. I do too. I think that lots of things are changing. Lots of people have decided that, and seriously, this is a collective thing, decided that things are not going to go back. There's a big awakening. There's a spiritual awakening that's going on. It's so amazing to me, of the things that I thought were necessary in my life were really not. And if nothing else, this whole thing has kind of helped me reevaluate what is really important in life. And it's not important. How can I shift things? What can I do to redeal the cards? Because so many people think that they have to be stuck with the cards that they're dealt. I was
That's
there for
true.
a big part of my life. I was there for a bit. I don't want to interrupt you. I think that our connection is kind of weird. Let me say this and then I'll stop. And
Okay.
people who know me well know that I talk a lot. So for me, for me, the cards is knowing that I was dealt, I have a choice, and I can change cards. I can redeal it. I can change the rules of the game, and it all starts with this.
Changing your mind.
Right. Tell me what your experience has been with that, because I know we're pretty much on the same wavelength. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Absolutely. I like the saying that like you are, move. You are not a tree. I think sometimes we, through, belief systems that we've never you really explored within ourselves, we tell ourselves that we are stuck. We tell ourselves that this is the cards that life dealt me, and this is where I live, this is where I will have my being, and this is where I will die. And we admire people in movies and, famous people or other people out there that have the ability to uproot themselves and to plant themselves and make a success of it. And you think, I wish I was that person. I wish I could do that. And I think so many of us experience levels and your whole experience changes for a week or two, and you're in a completely different environment, and you fall in love with it, and you say to yourself, I could live here. I could, make a living here and experience this every day. Why don't I do that? And I think we have that holiday romance. And when you come back from your holiday, that sort of weighs down very quickly when you go back to your routine, you go back to old habits, and you go work and all of that. And soon that romance is dead and it's forgotten. And you think, a year later you go on holiday again and you start this all over again. But that is your soul, your heart, and your gut trying to tell you something, that you can change your life.
Mhm.
But it starts with a decision and an intention. And then it takes a bit of persistence and small baby steps to make it a reality, because it's not just going to happen. It's not going to fall out of the sky and all of a sudden you can change your life magically. The magic, however, lies within you, but it begins with that little seed where you give yourself permission to change your life and then to go for it.
Right. I think one of the things that holds people back from that is the biggest thing is fear. What if? It's that what
Absolutely.
if. What if I jump out and what if I fail? So what if you fail? And what people don't realize is that as extroverted as I am, as much as I talk, as much as I put myself out there, as much as I do, sometimes I still do the damn thing afraid. But
Mm,
the difference is that I do it, right?
mm,
And at one point in my life, fear had a hold on me. I did not want to step out and show anybody my truth. And I didn't. But when you have a purpose, and even when you want to change things in your life, and you have dreams and you have goals, and like you can feel them, and you're like, I I have this that I want to come to pass, and it becomes so real to you, and it's ingrained deep down inside you. I think you would agree with me that that frustration of not being able to make that thing come to pass becomes kind of like a dull soul ache down on the
yeah,
inside, and it makes you very frustrated. And I agree so much with you that part of the deal is just realizing and stepping into, hey, I don't have to keep these cards that I've been dealt. I can
yes,
redeal myself another hand, and it can be
yes,
the hand that I deal myself, right? I can
mm,
pick the card, I can put the card in my hand, but it all starts with all of these stories, a lot of times corrupted, that we play
mm-hmm.
in our heads. And the stories that we play in our heads over and over become our reality.
Yes,
They
that
may
is so
not be
true.
reality. Yeah, they may not be, they're our perceived reality, and they do
Mm,
become our
mm.
reality. So let's talk a little bit about how we change it all up.
Change it
Tell
all up.
me in your creative, right? I know, right? Change it all up. We can change it all up. So how did you, in your creative practice, because I know you've done this, and I know you've gone through a massive transformation just by using
Mm,
art
mm,
as a part of your daily life and a part of your
yes.
of your sacred practice. How did that
Mhm.
happen for you? How did that
Okay.
transformation happen?
I think art was always a value for me, but I didn't know myself well enough to know that art is a value. Creativity is a value that I need to honor on a daily basis. And I thought that hairdressing was enough, but it wasn't, because you put in a box as a hairstylist. You have to do a certain thing for a client in a particular way. So you can't always express yourself really and truly enjoy the artistry of it. Um, and it came to a point in my life after a very close relationship of mine came to an end where I really, really hit rock bottom. And I did a personal growth course. And during that course, I discovered things about myself that I thought I knew, but I didn't know how important it was for me. And it was during this development phase that I discovered that creativity is a serious value that I've been neglecting. And this is where the Creatively Fit coaching program came into my life with Whitney Freya. And the one credit that I want to give her and the program that we did together is that I finally embraced the artist within me, because I've always wanted to study art, but that door was always closed for me. So when I embraced the artist and the creator within me, that moment changed my life forever. Because in that instant, I started to make art and creativity a daily practice. And from that point forward, I started blooming, because I really came into myself for the first time, really, as Gideon. And it's during that phase as well that my business name was born, Gideon's Light. And people ask me, how egotistical are you that you call yourself Gideon's Light? Do you have some
Right.
Christ or whatever the case may be? And it's related, because Christ did say that I am the light of the world. And when I did A Course in Miracles, that is actually one of the lessons where you have to accept that you too is the light of the world. And when you give yourself permission to shine your light, your version of your light, you give everybody around you permission to also shine their light. So you could be Debbie's light. And every day you shine in
Definitely.
Debbie's light all over the show. And that gives people that you shine your light on permission to be themselves, and authentic and true self, like I like to call it. So that's really how it all came together for me. So for the last 4 years, creativity, my art, the canvas, um, this has become a daily practice for me, and it really has saved my life.
That's very similar to my story. So I ran away from art most of my life. I was always very creative. I grew up in a low income household, and thank you, Nepal. I love you. Um,
Like it.
I do have a light, but here's the thing: I didn't always have a light. I
Yes,
had to make the decision that
exactly.
that little song that you learn when you're a kid and hide it under a bushel. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. I was so afraid for so long to show the real me. Um, anyway, I ran away from art to go into the medical field because they said that art didn't pay. My dad's an amazing artist. He can do just about anything he wants to. He's my hero. But he had my best interest at heart, so I went to college and I majored in medicine, and I hated it. I hated
My
it.
word.
Yeah, the biggest part of my life, the biggest part of my adult life, I worked in medicine. I ended up raising three girls all by myself with no help. And there came a point where I just, the only thing I can say is a miracle for me to go back to college, and art was the thing I wanted to do. And um, people said to me, this is funny about manifesting and redealing your cards. People would say to me, I don't know why you're going into art because you're not going to get a job. You're a mom, you need to be thinking about your kids, and you need to be thinking about how you can support those kids. So you better go into something that you can support your kids with. And through the whole thing, I kept holding on to, this is plan A, there is no plan B. I
Yeah.
will get a job. And so it's just like that when you put in, when I tell people about manifesting, and I tell people it's just like putting in an order from Amazon. You put in your order to the universe,
Same
and
thing.
you know that it's coming.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's delayed, right? We don't always know when it's going to come or when it's going to arrive, but we know that it's coming, and we know that it's going to eventually get to us. So I think it's so important when you manifest that you ask for it and you actually receive it. not,
mm,
oh,
mm,
maybe it'll come to me someday. No, I cannot wait. So it got to be a joke in
mm, mm, mm.
my art education little corps. There were about a dozen of us, and we went together for like the whole 4 years. And it got to be a real joke because when anybody would say anything about a job, they would say, "Oh yeah, and Debbie's going to get a job." Ha ha ha, you know. And I would say, there is no plan B. I am going to get a
Yeah,
job. So for
watch
4 years,
this
I
space.
did this. Right. For 4 years, I did that. And so after we graduated, listen, I put in for so many jobs. Guess who got a job out of the whole class?
Of course you.
I got a job. And it was like after 4 years of speaking that and holding on to that so tightly and not letting go,
Mm,
and I got
mm,
a job,
mm.
all of a sudden it's like, oh dang, maybe she does know what she's talking about, you know? But
Exactly.
it's as humans we make it so hard, and it's not hard. We just have
It's
to
not hard.
know, you know, yeah, it's not hard. It's not hard to reveal your cards.
I absolutely want to jump in there with you and agree with you. There's so many things during the last, let's say from the year 2000 in particular, that I journaled, and in my vision dream journal and all of that stuff that I wrote down that I sometimes even forgot about. Um, that I digged out of a box the other day, and it's so fascinating when you page back in retrospect to see that you can start ticking those boxes, you know. I was employed in an
Exactly.
amazing international company as a stylist, but my dream and my vision was always to be self-employed. Well, guess what? For the last 4 years, it finally arrived, but I had to take an enormous leap of faith. And I was petrified because it literally felt to me like I was standing on the edge of a cliff and I had to jump. And not only did I jump in my career, I jumped in my relationship life, my private life, my art life, everything. It was like one massive leap of faith. And here I am,
Right.
you know, and how the universe is just carrying me, and things is happening with grace and with ease and with far less effort than when I was trying to do it on my own. So, you know, there comes a
Right.
point in your life where you also have to surrender to spirit. You have to tell the universe what you want, the desires of your heart, and then you have to trust and let go. But you must also be open for when the opportunity arrives to jump, because you are not going to be pushed. You know, I always say
Exactly.
that spirit is the ultimate gentleman. You must step through that portal in faith, knowing that you will be fine on the other side. You will not be pushed. Sometimes it feels like you're pushed, but it really is your choice to walk through that doorway that you've manifested for yourself. But I think sometimes it's because we are so afraid of the success, not so much the fear of failure, that is keeping us away from our dreams. Like you call it, corrupted thoughts and corrupted ideas. And that's one of them. What do you think?
Most definitely. Listen, I am the queen of corrupt. Let me rephrase that. I used to be the queen of corrupted thought. So the stories that I played in my head, I'm creative, so there's always probably 100 tabs open all at one time. They're all doing something different, and I don't know where the music is coming from, right? And so I would say that half to three-fourths of those tabs were corrupted. I used to second guess myself so much, and I would overthink
Yes.
things so much. And I think the key to this is self-healing, self-love, and self-esteem.
Our self-love,
One easy,
absolutely.
oh, totally. I am working with a business coach right now who is absolutely effing amazing. I can't tout how amazing it is. Hey, little eagle. I can't tout how amazing he is. And I've gone through a lot of NLP techniques, the neuro linguistic
Mhm.
programming.
Yeah.
One of the things that I found that is so simple is the pattern interrupt. So I've been talking about that a lot for the past couple of days, the pattern interrupt. So when you have that, what I call stinking thinking, where you're playing that corrupted story in your head, if you can just interrupt that pattern by saying your phone number backwards. And the first time he said that to me, I was just ranting and raving. He was like, say your phone number backwards. And then I was like, what? What does that got to do with anything? So I'm okay, 1, 6, 7, 10, and I'm going through the whole thing.
I wasn't
And
able to do that.
yeah, and so I went through it and I did the whole thing and I was like, oh, I can't even remember what I was ranting about. Simple
Mm,
things, and it's consistently
yes.
interrupt that thought pattern and replace it with
Mm, mm,
something better. You know,
absolutely.
yeah,
I
it's
like to
so
call it to ring a different bell. In our household, when there's a certain quality of mood and we become aware of that, then we say, you know what, it's pointless to stay in this mood or in this frequency because that's what it is. So ring a different bell. You all know what it sounds like when you ring a piece of metal and it's really discontented. It's like, oh, and it hurts your ears. And then when you ring a beautiful bell, that sound is just so beautiful that it really brings you into the present moment. So I'd say when you start your day off wrong with the clanging of metal and you become aware of it, ring a different bell. And that's to interrupt that thought process and that vibration and to shift it into a higher gear and then to go from there. Absolutely, I agree with you.
right. It's a choice. I think that's a hard pill for
Absolutely.
many people to swallow is that I have a choice and I am responsible for the quality of my life, nobody else. I'm
Yes.
responsible for my happiness. I can redeal my cards. I can make it, you can make it happen. You just have to want to make it happen, right?
Absolutely. You must want it more than the misery that you're experiencing in the present moment. If you
Right,
feel that your life is terrible and nothing is working out for you, when will it change? When you've had enough.
right.
And not until you've had enough of it will you change it.
That's truth. That's truth. One of the ways that I changed it, I do this 6 phase meditation. You can YouTube it, and it's amazing. It took me through the steps. I started doing this years ago. Took me through steps of sending love to the world, sending love to my community, open up my heart chakra, sending out love, gratitude. Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
good thing.
And I know that you are a big proponent of gratitude because you have a Facebook page that a group dedicates to
Yes.
gratitude, but gratitude opens up so
It's a
much
game
space for
changer.
more beautiful things to come into your life.
Absolutely. Gratitude is the best attitude. It is a game changer. It is a key. It's a card changer. Every deck comes with a joker. I think gratitude is that card because you can insert it into any situation, whether it is to be grateful to be alive today and whether it is to be grateful for the challenge that has showed up in your life because that challenge is an opportunity, but it is your choice to see it as such. So, gratitude is a great way to change the game, but it is a practice that you need to work on every day. Absolutely.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Most definitely. Well, you know, we got to keep this high vibe, and both of us are high vibe people, and so that's one of the reasons I was so excited about bringing you on. So how are we going to wrap this up? Uh, one of the
Okay.
things that one of the things that I really want to just shortly talk about is this new program that I have that I'm launching called Make Love to the Resistance. And it has to do
I
with
love that.
all of the things that we have been talking about, all of the
Mhm.
things that we've been talking about. Because what we really are, you and I, Gideon, what we really are, we're really creative card dealers.
Okay.
How to read, deal the cards, because some people just don't know how. And
Yes.
we do it. Here's the kicker. Here's the amazing part. We do it
Mhm.
by teaching you how to take back your creative power. Most people don't even realize that
Absolutely.
they have given it away or that they even have it in the first place. So we teach you how
Yes.
to take that back using your creative power, and we use art, painting, and canvas as a portal. And
Absolutely.
yeah, it sounds so weird. The first time that I tried it, I thought it was woo woo as heck. And I was like, I'm not sure I want to be in on this, but art is so transformative. I can honestly say I do mostly intuitive paintings, and this whole thing, studying with Whitney and in the intuitive art and all of that,
Mhm.
has totally changed my art practice. Um, I love to paint. You know, I've taught high school art for a while, and I start paintings in front of my students all the time, and they're like, "Oh, what's that going to be?" And I'll be like, I don't
I
know.
don't know.
They cannot handle not
Freak
knowing
people
what it
out.
is, but it's so great when they go
Mm,
along with the whole process and they see it eventually turn into things, and and see me infuse energy into a piece, and the whole thing is just absolutely beautiful. And I cannot stress enough how you do not have to have artistic experience,
mm. It's
any art
not
experience, to be
necessary.
able to do this process.
That is absolutely the truth because, so many people use that argument like, I'm not an artist, I can't draw a stick figure. But that's absolute balderdash. It's not the truth. We are all having the creator within us. And when you embrace the creator energy within you, you become the creator of your life. And to link with what you're saying about intuitive art, that is why my series that I'll be showing in my art exhibition this weekend is entitled Blooming from the Core. The painting represents that opening of a flower and the core, the essence of the flower, and one petal at a time is so symbolic of how this manifestation is unfolding, how life is unfolding. And that really is the symbology behind all the works that I'll be showcasing this weekend, and that links with that intuitive part of us. That's where you have to go in this period in your life, is to go within your heart and work from the inside out, because that's the only way to affect positive change.
True, true. Pamela has commented. I want to read her comment. She says, fear of success is way scarier for her, as she has become too comfortable with failure and not fully applying myself.
Mm.
Whoa, that is deep. We become so comfortable. That's a good, so comfortable with things the way they are and the familiar, and not
Mm.
wanting to change, that it goes back to what you were saying earlier, Gideon. The It has to become too painful to stay the way you are.
Yes. Yes.
That's when the
That
change
is the
happens.
moment you change. Your soul opens up to you the minute you reach that rock bottom. When you've got no lower to go, for some of us, that is the point of transcendence, the point where we say, okay, the only way up for me now is up. I'm done with down.
Most
And
definitely.
it's no longer necessary for me to camp out in my failures, or to camp out in my hurts, or in my in a horrible past life, because that no longer defines me. I choose to learn, and I will glean from it the wisdom that I and the lessons that I needed to learn in order to become myself and to transcend this. It is possible for every single human, and it is part of our destiny.
Most definitely. It is, I think the one of the most important things of what you just said is that does not define us. It is
Absolutely.
just a choice. You know, people make choices, and in raising my three girls, I've always told them that you can make any choice you want to make. You have the freedom to
Absolutely.
make a choice, but you also have to accept whatever result of that choice is,
Mm,
and you can
mm,
always
mm.
change it. Always change it.
Freedom and responsibility is hand in hand. You can't separate the two. You can't want freedom and not take responsibility. And when you take responsibility, with it comes freedom. The two is an inseparable entity. And when you start to look at it from that perspective, it is liberating.
Definitely, definitely. Well, to our viewers who are tuned in with us, thank you all for coming. And I want to say to you, this is going to
Absolutely.
be reposted as a replay so we can share it on our individual pages. So to recap, um, please catch Gideon. We will put links on this
Yes,
video
I will.
to his page where his auction is going to happen. I encourage you to go, and if you're not going to buy anything, Cool.
Yeah,
We
just
want
pop
we
in.
want you to support, but really the way that you can support is to like and share, like and share, like and share.
Absolutely. It's
It
powerful
changes
things.
Facebook's, yes, it changes the algorithm. It causes more
Mhm.
engagement. So as much as you can. Also, both Gideon and I have a YouTube channel. Gideon, what is your YouTube channel?
Also, Gideon Slide. I will also share a link to that
Okay,
in our video. Yeah.
perfect. Both of us are also on Instagram. I will share my YouTube down below. And also, if you are interested in this new program that I'm launching, Make Love to the Resistance, I'm just going to tell you what, it's going to be life changing. And I'm so excited. We start on June 21, the night of the full moon, when we start
Yeah,
to make
maybe.
things new. Yep. Powerful, powerful time. If you are interested in that, either drop me a line, the private message, or make a comment right here and I will get all of the information to you. Thank you all so much for
Fantastic.
being here.
Thank you, Debbie,
It's
for
all
having
about
me. It
raising the
was
time.
an absolute journey. Thank you so much.
Gideon, I love you. I'm so glad that we
Love
got
you
to do
too.
this. Yeah, definitely.
Finally.
So,
Yeah.
is there anything you want to say before we go?
Just love and light to everybody. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys and to get to know you all. Yeah. Thank you.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Okay. Well, I'm signing off. Love to you. Mwah. And
Bye.
the auction's going to go amazing. I know it. See ya.